Okay, so here I am, back on the good ship Sand Flea. And I'm here because I have to work on our water tank. During Hurricane Irma, the wind was blowing the boat directly against the dock, and because of that, the boat just kind of got jostled around. I say that because I think during all that motion, some of the liner might have come off of the inside of my water tank. And I don't know if it's a liner or maybe some kind of previous repair. There's little flakes of paint or plastic or something like that that's just kind of you know, accumulated in the bottom corner of the tank. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to coat the inside of the water tank with a 2-part food grade epoxy. And it is only me on this trip. I am indeed solo. And the reason for that is because the inside of the boat is just going to end up being all kinds of messed up during this project, especially once I get this lid off. So you're not going to have your typical 3 elements of cute, funny, and sexy for this particular trip. You're just going to have to make do with sexy. I can't get this lid off. I can't. Whatever sealant was used to put this thing down is some kind of crazy gnarly stuff, and pretty much if I you know, try to leverage this thing up, I'm gonna break the lid, and I'm not going to be able to reuse it. You know, I've put the screwdriver in there in a couple different places, and you know, I've tried kind of leveraging it up, and I can't leverage it up. I can hear cracking sometimes. That's kind of hard to tell if the cracking is the sealant separating from the wood or the wood separating from itself, and I think it's the wood separating from itself. Okay, I'm going to actually just do what I came here to do. I'm going to gain access to this water tank and fix it. And I'm going to have to destroy this piece of plywood, very most likely getting it off, but that's just what's going to happen. So, while I have it here in one piece, I'm going to go ahead and take accurate measurements and plot it out on a piece of paper so I know exactly what the dimensions are, so that I can, you know, rebuild this lid. I'm going to try to keep whatever sections I can of this thing so that I can use it as a template to get the, you know, the whole layout and that kind of thing, but this lid's got to come off one way or another, so that's what's about to happen. Okay, I'm not having much luck just prying this thing up with brute force, so change of strategy. I'm going to draw a 2-inch line all the way around the perimeter of this tank, and then I'm gonna jigsaw all of this wood off that I can get. And by getting it really close to that that overlap point, I think I could probably, you know, get a chisel in there better and You know, boat projects have a way of doing this. You know, in your mind, you kind of envision things as being simple and, oh, it's going to be an easy fix and that kind of thing. But I don't know, it's just something about it where once you start kind of getting into the project, there is oftentimes just so much more involved than what you had initially anticipated. And that's just kind of the way it goes. All right, so I am off to procure a jigsaw and a chisel. I got a pencil. I got a, so this is probably the best jigsaw known to man. All right, so I have the pencil marks made all the way around the perimeter of this lid, and what that does is basically marking my cut zone here, because you can see the edge of the fiberglass tank right there, and this gives me about a 1/4 of an inch gap. So if I follow this line, I hope to stay off of the side of the tank as much as possible. And I also want to get as close as I can to the tank, because that should make it easier to chisel out these smaller pieces once I get to that step. All right, ooh, time to cut. Deep outside and down my back, and never alone when I hit the side. Swing the thing with a ring-a-ding-ding, and I get wings when I sing. Ragtime, reason and rhyme, I'm the reason you're divine. Rumba, mambo, Latin samba, the ladies in the house sing. Boy, I need to dance, if I don't dance, no romance. Feel like dancing, dance with me. First dance is always free. Good God, it's heavy. All right, there you have it. Inside of the water tank. Well, that dark brown stuff is sawdust, but it's still that kind of dark kind of brownish stain that was in there. All right, so now I just gotta chisel this lip off of there. Now I'm gonna try to save this veneer so I can keep my hole patterns. Yep. Let's take a look at this thing. Let's see. Yeah, this is just some really thick plywood. That's kind of interesting. It's actually it's not as many plies in there as I thought it was going to be. It's actually only like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 plies with a veneer on the top. Let's see. And this is the bottom. Yeah, look at all those blister-like things. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if this was factory or if this was a previous owner who replaced this top, but I don't know. That's kind of interesting up there. See that blackest part of the wood right there? Yeah, that I felt the saw go through that, and it went through it really quick. So that's some rotten wood up there. So I think this is a good, feeling better about chopping the lid off now, because it looks like it needed to be replaced anyway, since there were parts of it that were rotten. Overall, I think the end product is going to be worth the trouble. Alright, there's my template for the holes. Alright, so after approximately 762,354 hammer blows, I was able to chisel off the wood that was all the way around the perimeter of this thing. And now what I'm left with is just kind of this gooey, you know, wood splintery mess. Alright, a new day of working on this project, and today is all about old nasty caulking removal. But I got this stuff, caulking removal, water-based biodegradable formula. Put this stuff on there. It's kind of a gooey jelly kind of stuff. And then I smeared around with a paintbrush. And then I let that sit for like 10 minutes before I come back and scrape it and clean it off. So, gotta clean all this nasty goo off. And this is what it looks like when I get it ready. It's this surface here that I'm most concerned about. This is where the bond will be between the boat and the lid. So that's all cleaned up. This stuff works pretty good. It's taken probably 4 or 5, treatments to get it all off on that side, but it works. Okay, I've been sanding this thing for maybe 10 or 15 minutes. Look at the difference between the front and there where I was sanding and the back side here. Alright, I am going to go grab some lunch and grab a dust mask as well, because this is really stirring up some dust sanding that stuff, and it's probably not good to breathe, so safety first.
Dancing, dance with me. Dance is always free.
Now this is a pretty slow cure epoxy, and I know this because I put it on my dinghy. The dinghy I'm building, the chameleon sailing dinghy. Since this is going to be in direct contact with our drinking water, you want something that is formulated to be food grade, and that is the case with this stuff. The tank is epoxy coated. It doesn't look incredibly different other than being shiny. Now I just have to go build a lid for it. I got to do some kind of filler work and stuff like that here. I kind of chipped this up as I was chiseling the lid off, but that's not really that big of a deal at all. I think my work is done here. I'll pack things up and looks like I'll be headed out of here. Thanks for watching. Everything is covered in dust. Look at my hands. They're like the same color as E.T. when they found him in the river.